Meanwhile, Donald Trump sent shockwaves to Washington ahead of today's trip for a number of reasons. Number one, Elon Musk is joining the president-elect, and Trump intends to nominate Fox News host and veteran Pete Hegseth for the role of defense secretary for his administration. We want to bring in CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata. He has more on all things Pentagon. But before we get to that, Charlie, I want to switch gears. I want to ask you about the new charges against a U.S. government employee accused of leaking records related to Israel's retaliatory strike on Iran. What more are you learning about that?
It's a busy day here at the Pentagon.
It is.
We got word and confirmation. The federal prosecutors charged a one-time employee of the United States government, namely the CIA, with 2 counts of illegal transmission of national defense information. It was after those classified documents that appeared to show the preparations in place for an Israeli retaliation against Iran a few weeks ago. So the suspect's been named as Asif Rahman. He did hold top security clearance, which is why he got access to those documents, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. And according to the court records, he leaked that information, remember, October 17th, from locations outside the U.S. So he was arrested in Cambodia yesterday. He'll make his initial court appearance in Guam before being transferred back here to stand trial in the Eastern District of Virginia.
And we started with that question, Charlie, because I wanted to provide some context, because this all comes after Trump announced his new pick for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Does this choice mean a major military shakeup ahead for the Trump administration, do you think?
Well, I suppose that remains to be seen. Majorly because what some consider an unconventional choice for the defense secretary. So not somebody like from this building, somebody with a history of senior military roles or national security, but the co-host of Fox and Friends Weekends. And President-elect Trump has said he has found Hegseth to be impressive. But it's worth noting he is a veteran. He's gone on 2 deployments, including Iraq and Afghanistan. He's made some controversial statements in the past, including about women serving in combat, specifically in combat, saying, and I'm quoting him here, I'm just straight up saying we should not have women in combat roles. His appointment will obviously need to be approved. And even then, there's no guarantee how long he's going to hold that job, considering Trump went through 5 defense secretaries during his first term, and some of those men only lasted for a few days.
Yeah, it was a revolving door, no question, Charlie. We're also hearing about a possible executive order to create what's called a warrior board with the power to purge any military general or admiral from leadership roles. The Wall Street Journal was the first to report this. Do we have more details on what this means?
Well, when you talk about a shakeup, that is what would concern many or most of the people in this building. This is a planning organization. You don't want to upset the apple cart. But according to that report, we're still getting our own confirmation. That transition team is toying with the idea of putting together a warrior board. It would be mostly senior retired personnel. They'll review even 3- and 4-star officers and recommend their either removal or promotion. Of course, there's already a system in place for assessing the performance of officers from the top down and the bottom up. So that calls into question the legalities of it, if it could be worked out. There hasn't been any confirmation or statement, official statement anyway, from the Pentagon on this or the appointment of the new defense secretary. I was told simply to refer to that memo put out by the current Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, to all forces just a few weeks ago, saying, look, it's your duty to help a smooth transition of power.
Yeah. Boy, this news cycle could give you whiplash, no question. Charlie D'Agata, thank you so much for being with us.